Alright, this one's probably gonna be a bit weird. I don't really know how this is gonna go. For some reason, right now, I'm just in the listening mood. I'd like to hear someone talk rather than myself talk. But I do have some things that I can still talk about, and I think it's good to keep this consistency with the vlogs. So today, I went to the beach with a friend, and he brought along two female friends, platonic female friends, and we did a lot actually. So it started at around 11 a.m. and we ended up going to the beach at around 2, and then we ended up, or I ended up coming back to my house. He drove me back at around 9 p.m. So we had so many things that we did within it. It wasn't really just a beach trip. It was a lot of things, a lot of talking, and a lot of getting to know these people. Well, my friend included, but of course these people that these two girls that I've met for the first time. And I now understand how you can have a platonic female friend. Originally, I even asked him, how could you? How is this possible? And my theories were that you could have a female friend if you didn't find her attractive, or if that criteria wasn't satisfied, so if she was very attractive, you could have a female friend if you weren't very close with her. So, with one of those two being filled out, one of those criteria being complete, that would be a recipe for a platonic female friend. And growing off of the second point, branching off of the second point, having a female friend that you're not close with is it. If you had a female friend that you were very close with, I don't see how you could really be platonic still, because this closeness, the closeness that you would have with a friend. Now I'm just thinking in general with male friends, with female friend, with the gender that you're not attracted to. You would have some disconnect, some point where you didn't share the same values. I think that's how friendships are made in the first place, where you share values and you're able to talk about these things together. But then when you have this at least large disconnect or moderate disconnect of connections, of values, of opinions, ideas, you get a more distant, a more distant friend. And I think that's pretty easy to have with a female friend, especially since, well, particularly for me, since I'm male, I'm going to have very similar experiences to other males. I find it extremely easy to start a conversation with another male. I mean, you just mentioned video games, sports. If he doesn't play video games, you mention sports. If he doesn't play sports, you mention, I don't know, damn, any game, like poker, board games. If he doesn't do that, then instruments. Yeah, if he plays any instruments, and then if he doesn't do that, music, you can connect through music. There's quite a bit you can connect through with guys. And the first three, so, well, basically all of those are strong, I feel. Very easy for me personally to connect with a guy since they're more relevant and it's easier to share commonalities within those topics. So, for example, music is a big one. If I were to talk about music, I would. It's become a meme at this point within my friend circle that I would just talk about Juice World or Dro Kenji, which is just a Juice World clone, basically. So more often than not, you'll see that guys are listening to Juice World rather than girls. I mean, he literally has one of his top hits called "All Girls Are the Same." I I like the beat. I don't really care about the lyrics, but I feel like girls would be a bit offended to that, and they wouldn't particularly like that song. But other things in general, as I said, sports. There's a lot of overlap in sports. So if you're good at soccer, you're you could be also good at basketball. I mean, both cardio. You could also maybe be interested in football, throwing. So basketball and throwing, and football and throwing. The competition aspect, there's a lot of commonalities just in general. So that's why I find it easier to connect with guys. And then with girls, it's strange because they value things differently. They value things that I don't value as highly. It's hard to give a particular example because I I don't have any really any close female friends at the moment or even I only have very distant female friends. So I'll continue on with what happened today, I guess. So I went to the beach and with these two new girls that I just met today. And one of the girls turns out she has a fiance. So she's engaged, but she also has a child. I was told by my friend not to bring this up. So I didn't, of course. Actually, okay, maybe I did, but I tried not to. If it naturally came up, then that's when I probably brought it up. But he mentioned that there might be some turmoil within their relationship and they've just lost love for each other. And later today, after my friend dropped me off, I he stayed parked outside the driveway and then I invited him inside and we talked for a bit. We actually talked for a while. And all of a sudden I realize I'm just like right now at least I'm just in that listening mood where I want to hear him speak. I want to hear his values. Very strange for me because I was originally like that when I was younger where I wouldn't really talk, I'd just listen. And then I thought that people would value you more. You would be a well-rounded, a better person, I guess. A better version of me, I thought, would be someone that spoke more. So then I developed speaking. I improved my socialization, I should say, in a general context, not necessarily public speaking, not public speaking, but mingling and making new friends and being comfortable with awkward situations or new people, meeting new people. And then now I realize I've flipped too far. I now find it difficult to listen to people. Well, I used to find it difficult to listen to people. Difficult to shut up and let people talk. And I realize that is really what everyone wants. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. They they actually love it. And if you're able to provide fuel for that, ask questions intelligently, ask for their opinions, you can keep a conversation going indefinitely. Well, indefinitely is an exaggeration. And an enjoyable one. A long, enjoyable conversation. But I think you have to have the mindset of being naturally engaged in the conversation. You can't go in thinking, I'll listen to this person so that they'll like me more. You could fake it till you make it. That might work. So you keep on listening to people, and really you're just thinking, I want to manipulate this person into liking me more by me listening to them. But by doing that, the only way to do that is by actually paying careful attention to what they're saying and actually being a good listener. So, as I mentioned, I kind of derailed. The girl has a fiance and a child. My friend came inside. My male friend came inside and we started talking. And then we talked about various topics, random topics. The girl who had the fiance called him. And so he picked up and she started talking about how there was a relationship trouble going on because as she came home, she had a talk with her fiance and it didn't go fantastic. I don't know how any of those talks could really go fantastic because it's a slow process to solve those issues. So he put it on originally on speaker, but then he realized that she was talking about these personal issues, so he put it off speaker and put it to his ear, put the phone to his ear so that only he could hear it. But from what I heard, the little that I heard, it really saddened me, and it made me intrigued. I really did want to listen. I was I, I was a little disappointed that I couldn't hear anymore once he put it to his ear. So then I think he sees this and he holds up his finger. Wait. And when he's able to say something, when she stops talking, he mentions, "Is it fine? I have you off speaker, but is it fine if I turn on speaker? Felipe's with me in the room. Oh, why is Felipe with you? Oh, well, we decided to talk after I dropped him off. Okay, sure. You can put him on. You can put me on speaker. And then she went on speaker, and in fact, she even we ended up doing a video call. So me and Ben and on the couch, listening to her talk about her relationship struggles with her fiance in her room alone. And I was deeply invested. I don't know how I was so invested because I'm not interested in this girl. I don't want to have a relationship with this girl. Even if she was single, I wouldn't want to have a relationship with this girl. She is, I would say she is attractive, but not super attractive. Not, she doesn't call my attention attractive, if that has any significance. But as I said, I wanted to keep on listening, and then the call ended. She was in the middle of talking, and then the call ended, and then she called back, and then resumed the call, and my friend said the connectivity was off. The call ended, and then she didn't believe him. She said, you hung up on me," and was a little upset, understandably. And then she resumed talking. But my friend had to go. My male friend had to go very soon on a date. Funny enough. Funny enough because who goes on a date at, I think it was around 11 p.m. Yeah, it was 10:30 p.m. Who goes on a date at 10:30 p.m. when the datee has to work in the morning? Oh well. Ev when she was talking to, it was just so nice to listen. I don't know how else to put it, and I can't even explain why I enjoyed it, why it was nice, but it was almost relaxing. It was almost satisfying hearing her talk about this, and just not even, I was thinking of advice to give, but I know with girls it's a little different than guys when you talk about issues. You shouldn't offer solutions to girls. Guys want solutions, so you try to provide one. But you girls are just looking for someone to talk to rant. And as long as you're listening, they will figure it out on their own. If anything, offering solutions to a girl will not solve it and will make her more reluctant to follow your advice. So you could carefully guide her in that direction. I think you have to be very skilled in listening, in some form of listening, in some form of psychiatric practice, I guess. She was in a really tough position. That's what made it hard to give advice to. That obviously I've never been in a position where I've been engaged with someone and the relationship wasn't going well. It where I didn't even love the person, or I was losing love. It was just sad to see in general. But I asked my friend if I could get her snap so that I would actually listen to her. And I know it sounds weird. Of course, I mentioned this to my friend that I would get this girl snap who's engaged and not for nefarious purposes, not to get with her, but it's true. I I honestly have no idea how to put it, and it doesn't even make sense to me. And he was saying, "Well, okay, I think the only reason you want to do this is because it's a female. If there were a male friend in the same position, if I brought along a male friend to the beach and he had this exact same problem, would you be okay with helping him? Would you really be so intent on listening?" And honestly, I think so. I think I would. Now, it's hard to say exactly if I would because I would only know 100% certainty if the situation actually arises. Because there's a situation where I've had friends that are in close committed relationships or just struggling in general. Well, maybe I shouldn't say friends. I've had people that I know. And I don't have any need to reach out. I don't feel any need to reach out. I don't want to reach out if anything. I don't want to hang out with them in the first place because they're not I wouldn't consider them my friend. But I think this was a different situation because I consider at the end of hanging out when my friend, my male friend dropped me off at my house, I I think I found a friend in both of them. I think with that I'll end off with an important note.